tie those cleats with the double knot, Cravante, because we're running 4-3 with Jalen Milroe today, the
Man.
quarterback from the University of Alabama. Roll Tide, but maybe a quarterback who is one of the more enigmatic prospects, but has a very high ceiling, Cravante, Jalen Milroe. What you think?
Out here using them SAT words, I tell you, man. But yeah, he's one of the ones where it's like, yo, this is a real where they say boom or bust. This could be him if he goes to the right situation. This could be something crazy. The upside is crazy for Milroe, but if any old team just pick him with no vision, no competent front office, he can wither away similar to like Malik Willis.
Good point, Cravante. Real quick on Jalen Milroe, he did redshirt in 2021, played in 4 games as a reserve. This was the Bryce Young year. 2022, 8 games as a reserve with 297 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. 2023, third in the FBS with 10 yards per attempt, seventh with 15.2 per completion, finalist for the Manning Award. 12 rushing touchdowns, started all 13 games, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, team captain. 2024, he did regress, which I want to talk about. 726 rushing yards, 20 rushing touchdowns. He did have the single season school record touchdown by a quarterback rushing, and he also was 2,844 yards, 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and he was the William Campbell Trophy winner, Cravante. That is the top scholar athlete, aka the academic Heisman. So he's smart, got the football IQ, I guess.
Nah, indeed. And young black brother at thriving at a football school, we absolutely love to see it. Now if we dive into his strengths, um he's an athlete. This is an athlete right here. Pretty good frame and has the potential to be a serious dual threat weapon in the NFL at the next level. Shows positive signs of passing development in college, mostly with decision making and reading the field. These are improvements. These are improvements that he had to make along the way. Arm talent is above average, so he has a little cannon. He has a little cannon on him. Now we flip that. He has a cannon, but he does not have Shador's accuracy. And but you know nobody has Shador accuracy, right? 70% is crazy, really. Um, Definitely needs improvement. At times he could be late with anticipation throws and getting the ball to his intended target. His arm strength is definitely more impressive than his arm talent. He's not really special when he's on the run. And Jalen Milroe looks like you will want to see that improve because he's probably going to be running around a lot. So being able to run on the move to his left or to his right, you would like to see some improvements with that. But he has a lot of upside, but he has a lot of mechanics that he has to work on. And somebody, his quarterback's coach and offensive coordinator has to be patient with him, which means the organization has to be patient with him. And patience is kind of like a luxury these days for NFL teams because typically you got 2-3 years depending on the situation before the entire front office is flipped. But the talent is crazy with this one. And you look at him, he don't even look like a quarterback he looks like a wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Out there. And he has the moves and the speed of a wide receiver. But if he's gonna play quarterback, he has to get the mechanics down. And that is questionable at best.
Like I said, the junior year seemed like he was on a trajectory to be the Heisman frontrunner. This year, he kind of regressed. What do you think goes into that in pro comp?
Oof. Um so you really got to lock in during the off season. You can't rest on what you have because the athletic ability is absolutely there. And I'm hoping that this is not the case, but this is what it seems like. It seems like he rests on the fact that I'm an athlete. I'm probably the best athlete on the field, and probably didn't work as hard as he should have on his quarterback mechanics. And I'm not even just talking about dropping back in passes. I'm talking about dropping back to pass. I mean, like being able to read the field, throwing with anticipation, throwing guys open, because you're gonna have to do that at the next level. You may have to throw guys open. In college, the windows are a lot bigger. Once you get to the NFL, you may have to throw the ball to a guy that has the defender on him. You know what I'm saying? And I think he probably didn't put enough work into that aspect of things. And pro comp is interesting. He reminds me of Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, with his body type and his ability to be mobile and to be dynamic and be a dual threat quarterback. Is a lot of upside. Now, throwing the ball, something he has to work on, and I'm not just talking about he has the arm strength. It's just the accuracy is not quite there. The throwing with anticipation is not quite there. Sometimes he could be late throwing to his targets, which is easily going to lead to a lot of interceptions and turnovers. So these are guys, Justin Fields and Jalen Hurts, are what he reminds me of.
Well, as we say, each and every draft profile, where does he go? You said he needs to be in a stable situation, maybe where he can sit a la like a Lamar Jackson or someone for a couple of games or a season, have the patience to work with him, quarterback coach development. Where does he go? Because he could go maybe round 1, but he also could go round 2 or 3.
Absolutely. He has a pretty wide range of places where he can go as well. Man, I've been hearing a lot of buzz with him going to the Steelers. But again, I've said this in previous profiles. It depends on where Shedeur Sanders goes. That'll be an indication of where Jackson Dart / Jalen Milroe go. Because if Shedeur Sanders falls, I think Dart and Milroe will go in the second round. Just because I just don't think there's 4 quarterbacks with first round grades in this draft. You know what I'm saying? So being honest with you, I think I'll say he goes in the second. Him and Dart go in the second round. But it should all go to 9 or go anywhere above in the first half of the first round. I would not be surprised if the Steelers pull the trigger on Jalen Milroe just because they don't have either a second round pick or a third round pick. They don't have a second round pick.
No second.
No seconds. And they had 2 quarterbacks and now they have like none. They got Mason Rudolph, and that's a stopgap guy. At best he's your backup. You know what I'm saying? But if you bring in a Milroe, let him sit half the season. You know what I'm saying? Or it may be the full season, but you have to upgrade the quarterback position. So I think the Steelers are pretty much probably locked in. I think they're going to take a quarterback in the first round.
And Cravante, in today's NFL, a guy like Milroe can come in for special packages. He can do the tush push. He could do those gadget plays. He could do the Jalen Hurts thing, like you said. So they could, like I said, if he goes to Pittsburgh, which I think is going to happen, I've been saying it for weeks, that could be something I don't want to see because I feel like they could maybe mold what we could potentially see. Because I seen it last year. This year, I didn't really see it. I don't know if it was the coaching change. Remember, Nick Saban leaves. They get DeBoer from Washington. Now, Ryan Williams was fantastic. He's like 12 years old, running 4.4 and, catching passes all over the place. We're going to be talking about him in a couple of years. But outside of that, they didn't really have a lot of the Alabama weaponry we're used to as well. So maybe a little bit of a down year.
Yep. So yeah. Also, yeah, Alabama, of course, post Nick Saban, this is the life. This is the life that a program that was the king of the castle in the NCAA is no longer that. So now they're amongst the not necessarily the peasants, but they're amongst the tier down, and with the draft portal, it's hard to keep players. You got to continue to recruit players you already have. And those things can absolutely affect the quarterback. And it probably affected him negatively. Well, no, it did affect him negatively because 2024 was a down year. statistically.
Final thoughts on Milroe Cavante and what the people need to do if they're watching this video. Like I said, I think he has the highest ceiling of anybody in this draft, just if he can be molded.
I agree, and that's the craziest thing. His ceiling is definitely very, very high because he has the dual threat ability. If somebody takes the time to work with his mechanics and he goes to a stable position, we may revisit this draft class 2-3 years down the line and be like, yo, Jalen Milroe might have been the best quarterback out this draft class because of where he went to. It's not about
4-3. I forgot about that. I mean, how did I forget that? I mean, we've talked about it, but 4-3.
sure.
Somebody's gonna love that.
Yeah, somebody's gonna love it, fall in love with it. But looking back, we may say like he may be, let's say he's quarterback 4 this year going into it, but 3 years from now, he's tearing up the AFC North. You know what I'm saying? They will look back and say, dang, he was probably the second or first best quarterback in the draft. He has that potential, but he has to go to the right situation, though. And also, please, guys, please think. I'm not saying think. think. Like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think about these profiles. Maybe tell us a play or two that you think that you feel is unique that we haven't covered, and we could find time to do a draft profile on that person, you know, leading into the week of the NFL draft. We love the engagement. Keep the comments coming, and also, last but not least, hit the bell for notifications because the draft profiles are coming out, and they're coming out hot.
Just like Milroe out of the box with the 4-3 speed, back on Cavante, we'll have more draft profiles on the Flex Zone podcast.